Hi, I'm Mac, and today we will be turning this scribble, I guess it's there for you, into a fully fledged drawing that looks something like this. Cool, got the look. Anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy, grab a can of popcorn. That's not a thing. Grab popcorn and a can of soda. Or maybe there's cans of pop. Maybe I don't. Anyway, let's get into it.
We're on the wrong layer. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude. This is gonna be sick. All right, let's get rocking and rolling. It has been a hot minute since I have gotten back into a scribble drawing. I feel like I say that at the start of every video, that it's been a hot minute. I say that at the start of a lot of streams, don't I? That it's been well, you know, anyway, let's get rocking and rolling. Okay, so first thing on the to-do list, we need two random words from a random word generator to give us our prompt for what we are drawing today. And then on top of that, we need to create our scribble, and that'll give us the base to start and jump off from. So with that being said, let's get these two random words generated up. All right. Okay, here we go. We got it. It's on my screen. Putting it over there is a pain. Like there's ads on the site and stuff. I use this random free one. It's like the first one on Google that it doesn't. Anyway, the two random words we have got today. Let's make sure we up it. Two random words. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Okay. Bar and driver. All right. Get those bad boys put down there. Perfect. All right. Bar and driver. Okay. That is something. Bar and driver. Okay. That is something. That sounds bad. Okay, hold on. Bar and driver? Dude, did this random word generator just give me drunk driving as a prompt? Oh no, man. Oh no! Okay, all right. Well, all right, we'll start with scribble. That's first thing. That second thing, that's the next thing we got. All right, here we go. Make sure our line thickness is up. I hate getting the too skinny of scribbles going on. We need a little bit of motion. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bam, 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 bam. Okay. Scribble. Perfect. All right. Let's see what we can do with this. You know what? Let's take it and let's shrink it and let's put it right there. Okay. All right. Scribble. Perfect. Resized, rescaled. Beautiful. All right. What are we thinking for it? So, let's start off and let's just kind of rock and roll. First things first, let's turn this opacity down so we can have this in the background and have the flavor of it, but we don't necessarily have to have like the hardcore scribble right in our face. So, with that being said, let's go blue. We haven't done a blue sketch in a while, or maybe we have. I don't know. Again, it's been a hot minute, but I feel like I always say that. So, blue scribble it is. Blue sketch over. So I'm seeing some kind of line movement there. So let's start with the motion lines that I'm seeing going on. I'm seeing this, that. It kind of spikes down here. It goes up here. Maybe there's something back here to kind of balance that out. And something's coming down here. I don't know what that is. I like this. I like it's like, I feel like the pieces are here. I'm just not seeing it quite yet. And it's irking me. I don't know what it is, but there's something. Okay. Let's just keep blocking in shapes. And maybe something will speak to us. Keep that balance and symmetry going. Maybe this connects up and there's something going along like that. Okay, I'm not quite sure what we're doing here yet, still, but I feel like a city down here and some sort of catapult launcher here. Hear me out. This is what I'm thinking. We have got this so far. Let's go to an orange real quick, or like a muddy orange. I'm seeing some sort of like maybe a launcher right here with like a band that goes across, and maybe it's right here. Maybe it's a spaceship? Maybe it's a crashed spaceship with the city in the background. I like the idea. I want to do something futuristic. I'm feeling futury today, like futuristic kind of vibe. So I want to do something that has that like space theme. So maybe we could do this maybe it's like a stop sign or like a stoplight going on, and it's this spaceship that crashed into it. And this might seem weird right now, but I'm thinking like the bar is like the stop sign, and that is like totally crashed up like that, and we have our ship crunched up like this. And now what's down here? We gotta have something down here. Maybe it's some sort of horizon line down here that leads off into the city. This looks like gibberish right now. This looks like absolute gibberish, but hear me out. Hear me out. There's a vision. There's a vision. We can find it. We can find it. Maybe that's the vibe. Maybe that's the vibe. Maybe we have a parking lot down here that's got like spaceship parking and stuff, and then this crashed into a bar up here. This is some sort of like space antenna or something. Maybe we can throw a couple rings around it to make it feel like a space antenna. And so it's stuck in there, like totally crashed into it. And then how do we show that it's not just like floating in air? I want to anchor something down over here. Oh, that's really small. I want to anchor something down over here so it's not just like floating. Because if we have the city back here with like buildings, and maybe we even have like a building right up here that's where the spaceship was going to. It's something. And then maybe there's a city back here. There's some more back here. Maybe we could have like a moon up in the background or something. But there has to be something grounding it to that ground. Otherwise, this feels unbalanced. Or a reason for why it's stuck in midair. We could really have this pole eating it like bad. Eating up the ship and like keeping it struggling in there. Something like that. And totally like have it crunched up. Something like that. But now why is it crash? Dude, there's gotta be a narrative, and the pieces are there. I'm just assembling them. That's the tricky part right now. Maybe there's a group of people, a cohort of people down here. Is that's the correct word, right? Cohort, I think. I know it's a word. I think it's the right word we're looking for here. A cohort of people down here, and they're like taking pictures and stuff. Maybe people are gathering around because they're like, what the flippy? What's going on here? You know, looking up at this interesting thing that's going on. Maybe we have some other pillars that come around the city, so that way this one doesn't feel so abrupt and out of nowhere. So we have a couple of those, and maybe we have one up close too, so people can see what kind of thing it is. I like that. And then what if we put an alien driver in here who's like asleep? Oh, the alien fell asleep while driving, crashed into a giant bar like pole thing. Bar? What makes a bar different than a pole? When you think about it, pull up bar, right? But if you turn it sideways, that's a pole. Bar, pole. Is the only difference between a bar and a pole the fact that it's like horizontal versus vertical? Okay, I gotta look this up. Hold on. Time out. I gotta look this up. After exploring online for a little bit, I have come to the conclusion that I have no idea what the difference is. Everyone is saying everything, and I don't feel like continuing research. I'd rather draw. So we will leave it to the comments. What is your guys' opinion on a pole versus a bar? What qualifies a pole? Well, I mean, technically this is kind of, it's in between, because it was a pole, but now it's like half horizontal, so it's half a bar, half a pole. Fully awesome. No, okay, let's keep rocking. But we'll put some alien dude up here, and he'll just be like sleeping. That's a huge head. We don't need that head that big. We'll put him up here, and then we'll have like a little bit of drool coming out of his mouth, and he'll just be like sleeping over the wheel. Or maybe not. That looks like he died. We don't want this guy to look like he died. There's got to be a face. There's got to be something we could do. Maybe like a sweat face that's like, ha ha ha. You know, like the little bead of sweat coming down. It's like, ha ha ha. Oops. Maybe we could put like a little bit of blush going on him like that or something. There we go. And then okay, I like that. I like that. It's given very big, like, oh my gosh, I crashed my car. Sorry, I'm an asparagus. That's what I did. You know, like star sign. They always make the jokes about star sign stuff. I think that's what we'll do. We'll have a little bit of like a tee, you know, like, oopsie, I crashed into the thing. I think that's tough. I like that. And then we'll put the little bead of sweat up there. Fantastic. Okay, so we got that. Let's crank it down and let's do a little bit of exploration with that inking. So go in, let's turn this up a little bit and let's kind of get those basic shapes laid in there. So I'm seeing something up here. You know what? Let's actually turn this up just a little bit so I can see what we're doing. Let's start with the big shapes that we're gonna have. So like, for example, back here, I feel like this is gonna be a pretty sweet like tail fin for whatever this ship winds up being. So we'll do a little bit of that and then match that on the other side as well. And then we can do, whoa, hey, iPad move there. We'll do a little bit around the edge. Perfect. Clean that up just a bit. Perfect. And then we will go back, kind of go for like a station wagon vibe. I feel like that could be kind of cool. That could be kind of fun and add to like the dorkiness of the whole thing. So we'll just kind of have those different layers, those different like I'm thinking like 1970s SUV stuff. It's like a box, you know what I'm saying? It's like a long rectangle box, but it's got all these like panel lines, quote unquote, on there. So I think that's what we will try and do. So we've got this going on. Let's have this loop around and swing upwards and up and over. Does that looks good, but I don't like the way this connects up. So let's erase that and let's connect it just a little bit better so it fits a little bit less tangentially. Because I feel like before, the way it was connecting, it like felt like it touched tangentially. Hold on, I kind of like that. Wait a minute. Like that? I kind of like that. I kind of like that. That gives it gives a station wagon kind of vibe. And then we'll do this. And we'll go down like that. And then maybe we can even connect up the I don't know. This is a tricky, this right here is a tricky angle to, oh my gosh, did we just connect that? There we go. Lovely. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. And now this is where the fun part comes in. Let's just crunch this bad boy up. So this is just like all kinds of like messed up crunched. So we got to get that line just like, okay, we got to get this jiggy jacky. But okay, this is the tricky part. We have to make it look like the metal crunched up, but not just look like scribble, 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 scribble. It's got to have some sort of pattern to it. So what I think we will do is have something like this go in there, and then down here this will be another piece that's just like absolutely crunched to high heavens. So something like that, and then we can even have some like pieces jagging out and like shooting down and about, really just crumple that whole front side. And then maybe even have like a couple pieces sticking out around and back like that. Just, you know, like in there, man. I love that. The more we can make this look absolutely like totaled, the better. So, let's, actually, I kind of think we could put something here. So let's erase this, and maybe we could put some pipes coming up. I don't know. I'm not really a car guy or a spaceship guy. Well, I'm a spaceship guy. I like to try and pride myself on being a spaceship guy. But these are some sort of exhaust, I want to say. I don't know what these are like on a real car. You know, you always see fast cars having them. I'm not sure exactly what they are or what they're used for, but I know they look super tough. I'm going to guess they're exhaust. But, you know, if you guys know, feel free to drop it down in the comments below. If you guys know, drop it in the comments below. Oh! I should get t-shirts made of that. No. All right. Clean these edges up a little bit. Shabang, shaboom. Loving that. Let's bring this up and let's try and, there we go. I didn't want this last line touching tangent to that line down there. Because if it like lined up like that, that looks off. And it looks like this line is trying to connect to everything and be weird. So we just need that to be a little bit higher. Perfect. And then this, let's start having that just bump, 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 and then it goes like that. So that's got crunch to it as well. And then over here, we can do a little bit of that. You know what? To give some more motion, let's have a little bit of warp action go on in the rest of the ship too. Perfect. And you know, maybe we can even put a little crack on the windshield, something like that. And let's put a thruster back here. Because this ship has got to go somehow. It got to this spot with some velocity, to say the least. So I think we need at least a couple of thrusters back here to explain how it got here. And I don't like that. What's going on? Is it this one? I think that's what it was. That one I wasn't satisfied with. Perfect. We'll do a little bit of that. A little bit of that. Perfect. Thrusters. And you know what? We can even throw in a little flame coming out of there. Beautiful. Awesome. And you know what? We could even throw like some shards coming out. Like it just happened. Like boom! Just happened. Thing split. It's just like, it's there. You know, I think that could be cool. You know, let's put a little door handle here. Maybe that's what that is. And then we could put like a little extra 3D part going on there. Just put some paneling lines in there. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe that's a... I don't know what that could be, but I feel like that it's something that could be cool. So we'll do a little bit of that. Maybe it's like a sign or something going on. Perfect. And then let's get... Ooh! Right back here. You got to have some ventilation. Because the smoke, steam stuff is coming out the back. The propeller... No. What do rocket ships have? The engines? The launch pads? There's a word for it that I'm just totally blanking on. But that's coming out here. So up here, let's have a little bit of exhaust going on. And now I got to remember how to draw this. There's like a specific way of like drawing it. Straight? Nope. You gotta like come up. Is it like that? You know what? That works. It's a lot of dark going on, but I think that works. It's good enough. Maybe it's the engine. Who knows? Maybe that's some of the engine bracket right there. They got a V8 cybernetic engine. I don't know. Perfect. All right. And let's make some of these lines not as straight because this thing has just gone through a severe impact. So let's make a couple of these. We've got some stress lines in here, maybe some stress fractures and stuff going on. Whatever else maybe going on in the spaceship. Perfect. And then let's... What else do we want to add? Maybe we could add like a little thing up top like that. Just a piece on the glass to give it some rigidity. A reason for why it didn't just shatter all right away, you know? So we can do that and then throw that there. I don't know. I'm not super happy with that. No, you know what? Maybe we just keep it like that. But then down here we draw the rest of the ship. So it comes down like that, and then we've got this that comes around like that. Perfect. And then back here we've got some sort of, and we'll color that like real dark, but I think that works. And then this will be like the control command center that got caught up in the you know, like that wasn't properly steering. So perfect. I love that. Let's throw a couple bars down here maybe, and then maybe like a loose cable over here, something coming off. Maybe it's spewing a little bit of stuff out there. Beautiful. And then we'll throw one there, one there, one there. Just add some bolts, bolt it down, you know, make it make sense. Cool. Awesome. Cool. Okay. All right. Next thing on the to-do list is the pole. The bar. The bar, I should say. To go with the wording, the bar that is now broken and flopping down. So, let's do this. Let's make a new layer. And that way we can really tap into the details on this bar without it feeling, without being worried about messing with the other parts of the drawing. So we'll do this. You know what, let's have all the thin lines go into this middle area. Because my plan here is to have some sort of explosion going on. So it's like, boom, crap, ah! You know, like that's what's going down. So let's have everything like start thin down here and then like get thicker as it goes up towards the top. So that way this almost looks, it gives the illusion that it's being like lit up from the explosion or whatever electrical pieces are flying about. Just that subtlety, I think, could really do a nice job. So we'll start from the middle with everything we draw. And just make sure our perspectives look right. And you know what? Right here, let's have this like crunch like that. So this one looks like it's a broken, and we'll have wires coming out from all over around this. And then we'll have wires coming out from here. And then let's have some pieces stabilizing. Even though they might be broken now, up here can have some more stabilization. Like some actual proper, because it's broken in half, but this upper part maybe didn't get too much of the blunt force coming to it. So we will hit it with a little bit more strength. No, that's not reinforcement, right? I think that's what we're looking for. So we'll hit some bolts on there. Lines don't have to connect. That's okay. You know, we're just having fun here. So we'll go up through the middle again. Just add a little extra layer of detail. There we go. Hit that. Kind of thicken this up a little bit. And again, everything down here, let's just have this all like break apart. So maybe there's even a chunk right here that's just like totally mashed in with it. Just add chunk bits and stuff flying around, and we will throw crazy colors in here, and this will be some sort of like explosion going on. Really add that motion to the shot. You know what, let's actually have some pieces that come up like that. And stuff that's just like flying around, broken pieces, cracked metal. What else do we want in here? Let's throw a couple pieces down here that are maybe shattered. This is taking the blunt, the boom. That bottom end is really taking a heavy hit on there. So I think we'll do a lot of stuff in there and just have a bunch of pieces around here. And so we can actually go in and erase some of that car down there. Perfect. And then in here, let's just really focus on emphasizing the engine shadow details. I don't necessarily want to get in there and like recreate an actual engine, but we can give the illusion of that going on with some heavy shadows and shapage going on in there. So if we can go in and just like really make it dark, and that would also make sense if the explosion of light is coming right here, the shadows present here would be some of the darkest shadows in the entire thing, because it's like brightly lit right on there. So if we can just kind of give the illusion that the car is shattered up there, or the spaceship is shattered up, that can be toned down, or toned up with, I don't know. You know the wording. We can make it look good. So let's add another piece up here, and then you know what? Let's make one more layer. And let's put those rings I was talking about before. I feel like those could look really cool. And so we'll have them come down. Ooh. We'll have them come down, and there's going to be little strings on them like that connect up. Whoa, yeah. So these strings will come down, and those were the things keeping these rings in place. So to help clean this up a little bit, let me head down here, knock this out. Beautiful. And then we can kind of put a little bit of perspective in there. Beautiful. Awesome. And then bring that loop around, bring that loop. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, cool. And then let's throw, let's get one more up here. Just barely coming off of this top piece up here. And then we can erase some of that just to kind of balance it out, top and bottom going on. And give a reason for why they may be, well, I guess this doesn't give a reason necessarily. But we can do a little bit of that. Perfect. We don't need a string on that one. I think we're good. Add a couple more junk pieces in here, just flying around, mucking about. We can actually, now you know what? I'm like, I don't know if I want this full, like, dark in here. I'm kicking around, maybe cutting some of it out, but at the same time, I kind of like it. I don't know. Maybe there's an in-between we can find. Oh, that works. Okay, no, I like that. So we'll just thicken it up. We won't have full darks in there. We'll just thicken up some of the shadowy bits. Big time. Perfect. Awesome. And then we can have a piece flying out over here, flying out like that. Beautiful. Cool. Awesome. This is great. I'm loving this. Okay. Let's head up here and let's figure out how we want to do this alien. First things first, we need the emotion. The emotion has to be the first and foremost thing that you notice. That it's like, oopsie, we need that going on. So, let's go for a standard human style face and then build off of that. That's my thought process for this. So, start with just kind of, in my mind, I'm starting with an oval shape, and then let's do maybe some like ogre ears, like this, and then the hand comes up, like that. The thumb goes upwards. That's what okay. So the thumb goes up, like this. Perfect. And then we'll get some bumpies over here. It's giving kind of big orc vibes, but I'm liking it. And then we will do a little bit of that. Perfect. So it looks like the hand is still even on the not controller. What am I thinking of? Steering wheel. Joystick? Is it a flying craft? Is it like a joystick like that? So we'll do a little bit of that. Perfect. Awesome. And then, you know what? Let's throw a little bit of hair on the top of this. I feel like that could be perfect. And then we could throw like a little sweat dollop in there. But I think, let's do that on another layer so then we can erase some of the stuff behind it. Oh, yeah. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. And so then we'll color that blue. And then we'll put like a little thing right there. And then we could even put some blush on it later on. I like it, but those eyes aren't expressive enough. They just look like they're closed eyes. Let's really lean into that. Shrink it down just a little bit. Come on, we can do this. It's the subtle things. It's the subtle little things that you got to try and hit in order to convey the thing that you want to. There we go. Boom! I think I like that. And then we'll throw a little collar on it. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. And then, we can even throw a little bit of stuff back here, just to kind of give the illusion that the ship is fleshed out. And then that'll all have the blue tone of the window going on. I think that'll work. How about... Yeah! I like that. That's looking good. I'm happy with that. Let's actually touch a little bit of this up here. I think we could actually put in a little bit more detail work back there. And then right here, let's erase a little bit of that. And there we go. Perfect. Awesome sauce. Okay. So we've got that. Let me actually go through, and now that we've got a smaller brush, let me actually add some refining details to it. So like a couple bolts along here. We can touch that up back here. What else do we want? Maybe some bolts along here. This is stuff that adds detail to it, but I don't necessarily have to go back and like color it. I've really been trying to cut back on the details recently, give the illusion of detail, but not make extra work for myself, because I always get lost in it, and that is a pain to go back and fix. You either got to cut out detail or spend 5 hours just on the coloring phase alone. So I'm hoping that this will have that efficiency come in. Perfect. Okay. I think we're good. We got the door, we got the bottom, we got the crash. Awesome. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know why we got into a crash with this one and why we didn't just do like a driver, like just driving on a bar or something. That, dude, we joked about it being a drunk driving thing, and now it's like low-key. All right. Moving on. So let's go down here and let's get this parking lot set up. I feel like this could be a very fun thing to get set up and to be looking proper. So let's make right here the entrance to whatever this building is, and just kind of keep our perspective roughly right. So we'll do a little bit of this, and then we will go down here like that. And then I don't know exactly what the building will be here, but we'll give it like an extra layer. Treat it like a Minecraft house. Just kind of give it some extra dimension and depth. You know, we'll even put like a little chimney on here, because if this lines up, it's going to touch tangent, and that's going to be weird. So let's go up one more layer, and let's actually redo this line so it doesn't touch perfectly on there. Perfect. So we'll do that, and then this will just be some sort of window. Oh, we can do better on that. Window, boom, window, boom, pow. Close enough. And then this we can bring back just like, there we go. Yeah. It gives enough of illusion of perspective in there, and that's all we're looking for. This isn't the main focus, so to go crazy on this would be not the move. But what we can do to give it just a little extra three-dimensionality is go up and out, and so that way it looks like this is actually a mortar brick line going around the edge or something like that. And then down here we can just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Put some windows in here. Maybe it's a library or something. I don't know why a library would be on the corner with the city in the background, but maybe that's what is going on or something. This alien was going to the library, perhaps. Oh yeah. I know we go loose on the perspectives, but jeez, that was loose. Nah. And then we will just throw some glass reflections in here so it reads as windows. We'll do a little bit of that. You know, let's throw a mortar. Is that the word I'm looking for? Mortar? Like a mortar brick kind of thing? I don't know if that's the right word. It's close enough though. And then we will throw some bushes down here. So let's erase that. And just kind of throw in some rough hedge lines down here. Just add a little bit of character to it, you know? And then over here, maybe this is like a rock face. So we'll have something like that. Maybe kids can play on this. Well, I don't think kids would want to play on this actually, because this is pretty dangerous if it's just overlooking the city. You don't want anyone falling. So we'll make that rock tower nice and tall to make sure nobody's spaceship accidentally sloops off the edge, you know? And then maybe we could put a couple more hedges down here. Perfect. Cool. Okay. I'm trying to think of what else we can add to like really emphasize what's going on here. Let's go down here, and maybe this is the road in. This is how people get into the place. And so we can actually do a little bit of that. And then just to show that it's a road, we can hit that little sign right there. And then this comes in. And then this comes around like that. Perfect. And then we can throw a little bit of a fence going on. little bit of a wall to show that that's like the end. And now we get to throw some spaceships in there. And I don't know how we want these spaceships to look. So this will be a fun adventure to try and figure this out. So let's figure it out. All right, first one's first. We just got to remember perspective lines and just have fun with it. I feel like half the best spaceships made out there are just cars that are drawn without wheels that have goofy and funky perspective lines. So we'll do that for one. We'll do this for another one. And I don't even know what these perspectives are. Maybe it's like a sports car one. Something like that. And then we'll have one that has like floater beams on it or something. It has like a cockpit there. And it's got this going around. And it's like that in the back. Perfect. And we will have another one. Oh, you know what? Boom! Alien handicap sign. Right here. There we go. Love that. And then I don't feel like drawing a big car for that. So we will have that one open. But what we can do is we can put that going all the way down. The lines can come out. Like that. And then we can have a little bit of a handicap parking sign right there. Awesome. And then right here, we will have a no parking spot to help with that handicap. Perfect. Okay. And then, you know what? We can even put some debris down here because maybe stuff is like falling down. And then down here, this is going to be the fun part. We just get to draw a bunch of little people looking up at this. So head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Is that how it goes? Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and... Yeah, okay, cool. I still remember that. So the basic thing here is to just make the heads visible. Because everything else, the bodies can literally be mush as long as the colors define them. We just have to make sure we get the heads reading as heads. Because without that, it just looks like a blob of maybe destruction and stuff. You know, we'll even have this guy like waving up, doing something up there. Perfect. Yeah, everything else can look really like jiggy-jaggy and like not coherent. But yeah, we just need those heads to be recognizable as like heads going on. So maybe we could have a couple people walking out of the library or something. A couple people walking in. A couple aliens maybe walking in, going to do stuff. Maybe we have a couple people down here that are looking up at what's going on. A little kid right there. Perfect. Beautiful. Awesome. That's great. We love that. Cool. All right, now let's make one more layer. And then let's just go back here and let's crank this up because this can be kind of bold impact back here. And let's just make a couple buildings. Landscape doesn't really matter too much back here. Perspective doesn't even matter too much back here, to be honest. We just got to have some visual intrigue for what is going on. Give a little bit of a setting as to why things are this way. So let's put a ball one there and have this come down, and maybe that goes there, and maybe we have that like that, and then erase this, goes up like this, something like that. And that ball kind of shows that it's a futuristic city, because what city has a ball like I guess Las Vegas? Not a lot of cities have a ball like that. And so we will just same thing over here. And these ones are even further back, so they can actually be even more faded. You can have just like spikes and tips back here. It doesn't have to be like actual cohesive city units. Perfect. Love this. Awesome. Oh, okay. Siri popped up. Hold on. No, stop. No, stop. Don't. No, stop. Go away. Stop. No. We're good. Perfect. Add a little bit of visual intrigue back here. Awesome. Now we have a city. And we can add even a couple more pieces in there if we just want to add a little bit more detail. Perfect. And now what does that look like without the sketch? Beautiful. Beautiful. We love that. We love that. Okay, so now moving into the color. What do we want for the color? I'm thinking nighttime. I feel like nighttime could be cool, especially with this explosion-ish thing going on here. I feel like that could be super cool to have some sort of like lighting going on. So my first thought is to have some sort of gradient dark purplish for the background. Maybe like a purple into a blue. Or would it be purple down here into a... You know, let's just go the whole thing. Why not? Purple, and then we'll lean more into the blue. Just like that. And then we will lean more into the blue. Just like that. And then we will go like... Perfect, just like that. Really dark. Actually, that's a little more purple than I was hoping for. So we'll do this. There we go. And now that looks really dark, but... Let's hit it with the Gaussian blur. Perfect. That gives us a little bit of a gradient going on. And now we can take that out for now. Now that we have that base... Actually, let's keep it in. Hold on. Let's work the background. Let's work to the background to the front so we can have the correct contrast of colors. Because the front are going to be bright colors. Bright blues, bright greens, bright reds, whatever. Those backs are going to be the faded out stuff. So, with that being said, let's go in with like a lightish blue, but not too light. Something like that. I want to color the cityscape. Something that's... Although maybe we do like a full, like, black going on. What does that look like? No, that's too dark. Are we on the same layer? No, we're not. Okay. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. I like that. Okay. So let's erase all of this. And then, remember what I was saying about before? It can be really messy. This is where that comes into play. Just go in there and just start hitting all those shapes out. It literally doesn't even matter if the lines connect or not. Just start knocking them out and try and follow those rough boundaries you set for yourself before. You can see that right up here. It's getting a little bit out of line. That's fine. Fine. Roll with it. See what you make out of it. So then this comes up. Bring that out. The nice part is that this is so far away, you don't have to worry about it being dead on or anything like that. You can have that come out, go around. This isn't the focus. This is just to give a flavor that there's a city in the background. So we can go around this edge all the way down here. And you know what? Maybe those are bushes down there. I said initially that this was going to be a rock wall. Maybe those are bushes. And so we'll go down here and we will just carve around that. Perfect. And now we've got a city backdrop. Awesome. So now let's head over to a little bit darker of a gray. Maybe even a little bit... it's too much, too much. We want it darker than that. And right now it looks like a little bit warmer. You know what? I think that works. I think that works. Because we're going to color other stuff too. I was thinking that this is a little bit... It kind of blends with the purple. But I think that might be okay for what we're doing right now. So let's just run through and kind of just block in all of these colors back here. I think that could be the move. And you know what? Let's just do it all the way down. Because if we keep going over the same areas with color, we're bound to cover up at least most of the spots we may have missed prior. So let's color that. And then I think we're good. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. We're making that separation. We're making that difference. That's good. We're getting there. All right. From here, you know what? Let's turn this down a little bit. just so we can see what we're doing a little bit more. All right, from here, let's touch these spots up. We don't want that. There we go. Touch these spots up a little bit. The spots that may not get love the next time around, because we may not touch these colors for a little bit. So we'll do that. Perfect. Just kind of hit those gaps here and there. Anywhere that there's a huge problem, we will tap up. Perfect. All right. Cool. Okay, let's go back down here and let me hit this area with some gray again. Just kind of hit that all the way back here. Fill that in back there. Perfect. Cool. You know what? Next, let's get some green in there. And this can be, since it's further away, we can have a little bit more of a muted out green. I think that could be fun. So we'll do a little bit of this and just have all of these shrubs. We can do a little bit of this and just have all of these shrubs tackled and dealt with. Even out front here. I didn't know what this was going to be, what color this was going to be, but maybe we could just make this all like green grass and shrubs. We are on the same layer. Okay. That is just something to take note of. Cool. All right. After this, I think we'll start a new layer for the colors that we throw down, just so we don't start getting muddy with everything and having the paintbrush flop out on us like that. You can kind of see there's a couple of those lines in there that we got to go and clean up. So once we get this last little piece colored, I think we'll switch to a new layer. Perfect. And again, those are farther back there, so you can have some fun with them. You don't have to get perfectly in the lines and lined up. Go wild. Just have fun. All right. Let's make a new layer, and now let's go for a little bit of a tan color on this building. Not sure what this building is, but I feel like a tan. It's speaking to me as a tan. Just kind of stand out a little bit from the rest of the gray that's going on. So we'll do a little bit of that. Fill that in. Perfect. You know what? Let's actually mute that down just a little bit more. Perfect. Because we want that night vibe to it, you know? Okay. Let's hit the gray, and let's go gray around all of these parking spots, including the lines that come out. So we'll just do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Perfect. Yeah. That gets what I'm going. Gets what I'm going for. And now we need something between that and this dark gray to create a sidewalk sort of thing. I think that could be very beneficial to what we are trying to achieve here. So we will do a little bit of this. Bring it down and around. Drag and drop. Perfect. And then over here, you know what? Let's throw a little sidewalk in here. I didn't draw a line for a sidewalk, but you know, let's make a little sidewalk over there. We love that. Okay. And you know what? While we're at it, let's do this and let's have some sort of sign come here. Something like that. I know that's not a handicap sign, but it gives the illusion. It gives the illusion of one. And then over here, let's have this be a crosswalk. Does that read as a crosswalk? I feel like we could do better. There. Double these up so they're a little bit thicker. Perfect. Yeah, it gets the vibe. You get the vibe. You get what we're going for. Matter of fact, we could actually probably darken those a little bit. Just knock them out like that. Maybe we can even throw some back there. Perfect. Cool. Awesome. And you know what? Since this is going to be like hardcore blue with purple in it, It's got a little bit of that pink hue to it. Let's make the car red. Like hot rod red. Or I don't even know if that's the correct red. Is that hot rod red? No, I think hot rod red is more of like a maroony color. But whatever this red is, I like this red. Maybe tone it down just a little bit. But I think this will be the main color of this bad boy. So, this is the fun part. We get to figure out what is the car in this whole pile of destruction. So, let's make sure we're on the right layer. And let's just get cracking into it. And just figuring out what we feel should be car parts. I gotta be honest, I forgot what was what when drawing this. I don't have any memory of what I was intending to be car parts. It's all just gibbery mess now, which is good. That's great. We love that. So we will go through and just have fun coloring it all up. You know what? Let's just throw a base coat on everything right now. And then we can go back through and detail stuff up. Rather than forgetting about something and being like, oh, no, you know. Let's just throw a base layer of red in there. And then worst case scenario, it's just red, like the car, you know? So let's do this. Hit that in there. Perfect. You know what? Even down into here, I think would be totally cool. Awesome. Love that. Okay, we do gotta clean it up a little bit because this looks bad. This looks like blood. Now that I'm looking at it, this looks like a, or it looks on. Would a darker red look better? No, I like that. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Trust. Make sure we have the right color, and then let's just continue on in our journey of figuring out what pieces are a part of the car. And the more like totaled and wrecked we can make this look, the better. I feel like that only sells our point. So just really go ham with all of these pieces, all these scraps flying all over. Have a couple of dings and dangs going on. Make sure this is over everything. Perfect. Awesome, awesome. And then we can have like a little piece flying out down there. A little bit there, a little bit here. Perfect, perfect. And you know what? Let's have this shard be part of the car too. There we go. Okay. Next part of this car that I want to work on is the under engine bits. So let's get this silver in there. And this will be all the quote-unquote engine-y bits. And we can always go through with a dark shadow layer to really emphasize what these different pieces are. But right now, let's just throw in... Are we on a different layer? We are. Perfect. So we can actually go a little bit more ham with this. Because it won't interfere with our red. Whatever we do here will go under that, which is beautiful. So we will do this and really just cake it on. Pieces flying. Beautiful. Awesome. Cool, cool. This is turning out. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. And now let's go for the tower itself. For this, I want like a light blue metal kind of vibe. There we go. Something like that. How would this look against that dark background? I think that works. Throw this over everything. And just as a... no, because the windows are going to be that color. I don't want it to be too close to that. So let's knock it down a little bit. I still want that bluish gray. There we go. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Let's turn this down again. Just so we can see what we're doing. And then... Oh, hey. No. We got to be on this layer. Perfect. And then I think everything up here can be this blue color. And even all the chunks and stuff flying away, I think can be this blue as well for this satellite tower or whatever this is. Do a little bit of that, and then I think, yep, perfect, that's clear. And then we'll do this, and just kind of follow the routes that we set up for ourselves last time. And then these, I don't know what these are. Maybe we'll color these chords a different color later on, but for now we'll just color them that. Fill this in, fill that in. I have a little bit there. Perfect. And then we can start on this upper one up here. That's a little bit more intact. And just kind of fill that in. And we might, now that I actually am coloring a little bit more in, we might have to tone down that initial background a little bit. It might be too vibrant for what we're trying to go for here. So I might have to throw like a multiply, like black layer over that or something. Just so it doesn't take away too much from what we're trying to do up here. And again, just be loose with this. Don't worry about it. Cut loose, have fun. We're here to draw. We're not here to make, I don't know what we'd be making besides art. But you know, have fun. It's your drawing, whatever you're doing. I don't know if you guys are doing a Scribble challenge at home with me, or if you are, I don't know what you guys are doing. Comment below what you guys are doing right now. Are you just watching the video? Do you have this like on in the background? Are you at work right now? Are you at school right now? Are you doing math homework? You got Mac playing in your headphones? Mac playing on the speaker? Plot twist. Whole class is watching? Hello, everyone. What else? Maybe you're in an alien ship. Are you in an alien ship? Spaceship? Are you abducted? Are you sleepwalking right now? Are you on your roof? Are you in your basement? Are you on an aeroplane? I don't know. Where else would you be? Comment below. How are you watching this or listening to this right now? Do you just got the audio in? Do you got the audio and visuals? Let me know. I'm curious. I'm curious. Maybe you're crashing into a satellite beam while listening to this. That would be bad. Maybe this drawing accidentally manifested that. Hopefully you guys are safe. Be safe. Drive safe. Don't do anything stupid. Watch out around you. Don't fly through intersections. No. Back to this. Let's throw a couple of lines in here. Just really get that going. I don't know what this is exactly, but I think having just some more color in there might be the move. All right, how are we looking? It's good. It's good. I like that. I like that. You know what? Let's do that. Let's actually throw in another layer. Let's throw black in there. Just cover over everything, and then let's figure out what kind of setting we want on here. There we go. I think that works. Gets the vibe we're looking for. Gets the vibe. Gets the vibe. Alrighty. Alrighty. All right, now let's focus on this ship up here again. Let's get some of these inner metal bits. Let me touch that up right there. Oh, is that? Oh, that's the red that we gotta wipe out. Perfect. Okay. Let's go one layer above this, and let's touch up some of these silvery bits that I think would be fun standout parts of the car, ship, whatever you want to call it. Just to give some variation in there. I think that could be really cool. So we'll do a little bit of this around. I'll keep that door the same color, but we can have all the control panels in here be this color. Just like that. Perfect. Beautiful. And then this will have a little bit of a blue tint to it because we are going to color it up that way later on. It's going to have the glass effect over it. So we can do this back here. And you know what? Let's actually have these turbo thrusters that same color. I know it matches up with the fin, but we'll get some shadow in there. We'll call it a day. And then we do want this. I think I accidentally undid that. So we will make sure those are colored in. Color this in too. Just give it a little bit more variation. Door handle as well. And then maybe there's something there. Cool. Awesome. We love that. All right, what else do we want? What else? What else? The car's down here. Oh, hold on. Let's do the alien. This alien has got to be lime green. I feel like that's the only route to go with everything that is going on in this car. With the car being so bright red, I feel like slime green will be the move for this guy. So we'll do a little bit of that. And then his suit. Let's do... What would go good with green? We could do... Well, red goes with it. Yellow? Kind of like a pale yellow. Make sure that doesn't have any double meaning. It always sucks when you put something in there. It's like, oh, let's do yellow. And yellow looks like a jumpsuit. Or something like that where it's like, uh-oh. Didn't want that to come across as that. Perfect. And then maybe we'll throw some purple hair on there too. Just make sure it doesn't match with the background. Awesome. And then let's get that sweat. Matter of fact, let's actually have that be much lighter. Sweat, perfect. And then all of these windows, let's gray them down and let's just get rocking and rolling. Actually, discipline, make a new layer. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that if I don't make a new layer, I'm going to regret it very shortly. So we will do this and just have another layer. Bang. Boom. Pow. Shabam. Shabang. Awesome. Awesome sauce. And then we can see some of the windows down here. So I'll just color these real quick. Even though we haven't quite got down there, we will color those. And now, let's head up here, make another one. And this one will be a specialty window. Do we want it to go over? No, we can go under. And this will just be the cockpit up here. And then I'm thinking we multiply. No. Do we just do normal? No, that normal but over everything? Do we? Does that? It's a little messy, but you know what? That works. We'll clean it up a little bit. Do a little bit there. Oh, hey, yeah. All right, maybe we can have a smaller brush. Oh, the syrup brush. Oh, wait. No, we don't. All right, never mind. We don't have a syrup one set up for the, or like smoothing out eraser bit. I should probably look into that and figure out how to set that up. But, you know, another adventure for another day. So let's just clean this up. And again, we're having fun here. We're conveying a narrative through this bad boy. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's going to be little blotch lines here and there. Beautiful. That way he's got the, you know, over him. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but, you know, you get the vibe. There's a word, not the cockpit. I don't know. You guys catch the vibe. You get what I'm saying. All right. Over here, though, let's fill this in just like the city. I didn't know what I wanted to do over here, but I think having the city might be the move. Because there's so much visually going on within this certain little area. I don't want to put any more city buildings because that's just going to like overcrowd it. So I think this is good. It's rocking. And now we can go down here and let's make all of these cars muted out colors. So we'll go on this layer. And these are all just kind of be toned down, little muted things. This one over here kind of reminds me of Anakin's pod racer from the prequels. I don't know. It just kind of gives that vibe. It's a mix of that and the one I think it was Obi. No, was it Anakin's or was it Obi-Wan's in Attack of the Clones when they were chasing that bounty hunter? I think, or it was the assassin. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen Star Wars in a hot minute. But it was that one that they're like flying around, you know, and then Anakin, I think Anakin's like, oh yeah, right there, you know, and then jumps out. It's like, wow! Or was it Obi-Wan that did that? I don't know. It was one of the two. One of the two jumped out of it like mid-flight, and it was a whole like plot point. So cool. Love those movies. I gotta watch those again. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Perfect. Okay, and then we'll just go around like this. Again, just having fun with it. Get some color in there. Get the vibe of it across, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Have fun with your drawings, man. Don't worry about the little things. You have time to refine them. If you make a drawing and it becomes a giant, like, wow, this is amazing, you can always go back and refine it. A couple little tweaks here and there, call it a day, you know? If it starts, like, blowing up and stuff, it's cool. First of all, if it blows up, you did everything right. You got nothing to worry about. If it doesn't blow up, you can always go back and, you know, tweak it a little bit. Call it a day. So, remember to just have fun. Have fun, be creative, and just figure it out on the fly, you know? That's the strat. All right, cool. Now, this is the part that gets fun. Let's go in with green, and let's paint some of these faces. Just like that. And then we'll go down here. We'll paint these two faces. There and there. And let's just go through with all different colors. And just, like, have fun. Put a little red couple characters in here. A little red guy right there, a little red guy right there. Awesome. And then let's put some, like, bright, like, yellowish people going on. Little guy right there, little guy right there. And now we can go in with the more neutral clothing, or neutral colors, and make a little bit of the clothing for everyone. Because the skin tones are so bright that we can go in with just some neutral stuff. These don't have to be brightly colored shirts and stuff. They can be low-key, like browns, and we'll throw a couple, like, navy blues in there and stuff like that. So we'll just do a little bit of this. You don't want it to look identical, but you can throw... It doesn't have to be as crazy, you know? So let's then go like a olivey green. It's kind of like a real low-key stuff. It doesn't have to be crazy. And really just focus on getting... Make it look like a crowd down there. You know what? These yellows are actually a little too bright. So let's make these a little bit more of a muted out. Just like that. So they fit a little bit better. And then let's give a couple light colors in there. Maybe some people got white t-shirts on and stuff. White shoes. A little bit of a white t-shirt there. This guy's got a t-shirt like that. Like this, like that. These people maybe have white t-shirts on. This guy's got a t-shirt over here. Let's throw a couple oranges in there. Maybe we got a little orange right there, a little orange right there. The trick with this is to just have so many colors in there all over the spectrum that it just looks like a rainbow mishmash of stuff that you can't pick out one specific person. So we've got that down there. And now, you know what? Let's throw in a couple. What do we need in there? Couple lighter blues, I think, would be good. Not quite neon blue, but just like a... Actually, no, we got that. Let's go red. We don't got a lot of reds down here. Let's get kind of a pinkish red going on. Perfect. Just get a little assembly going. Maybe this guy's got pink pants or something like that. Cool. Awesome. Beautiful. All right. I'm looking over. I think we're ready for shadow. Snappy, snap, 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 snap. Let's do some shadow work. Shadow and highlights. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go all the way to the top, but below that. And I think... What do we want to do first? What do we want to do first? I'm trying to think of how I want to highlight this. Do we throw that layer on immediately? Hold on, what if we do a dark blue? I think that works. And then let's erase around it. Okay. I think I know how I want to do this. Okay. So we've got this. And now what I think we'll do is all of these bottom parts we will just erase. Anything that's facing downwards, we will give the old erase to. And anything that's like downwards adjacent. So like we got these panels, those will probably be a little bit downwards. What else do we got? What else? Crunchy pieces. Crunchy that. And now this is where another part comes in that's pretty fun. Figuring out the perspective on everything. So we got this, we got that. That'll probably have a little bit on it. A little something like that. A little something up here maybe. And then that'll come around. And now all of these bits and parts, this is actually going to have more light on it because there is going to be some sort of explosion over here. That is the idea. So we'll do this. We'll create just kind of like shards going every which way. And then just, you know, it is just like exploding. And then what I think we'll do is we will go up to this top layer, make like a bluish thing like this, and we will just like hit it like that. Just give some motion lines in there, you know? So we'll do this. So it is like a full-on, you know, like impact, explosion. And then we will do this, turn it down, duplicate the layer, and hit this second layer with a little bit of Gaussian blur. I think like that. And then we can actually turn this down a little bit more. Like that. Perfect. And then with that being there, oh, yeah. Where is it? This one. We can actually erase some more of these lines. Just like that. Yeah! Oh, I like this. I like this. It's got motion. It's got motion. It's got energy. And so now we can start keeping that in mind too as we erase some of the highlights up here. Because this is going to be like crazy bright. So we can light that guy up, get a little bit of the lighting going on back there, lighting up here, lighting around there, back on this. That'll be fully lit up. This will probably be fully lit up. Those will be lit up. What else? A little crunch on the actual. You know what? We could actually have a full thing right there. And then that will be lit up. This will be lit up like that. Perfect. And then these will all have a light side because they're being like, you know, like slammed into. There we go. I like that. I like that. And then we'll throw this up there, throw that, boom, bang, pow. A little bit back here, and then you know what? We can even throw a couple more lines in here just to really exemplify that. Awesome. Cool, cool. Super awesome. And then, with that being said, let's go down here, and what if we turn the opacity down? Because this is in nighttime. This makes it look totally in nighttime. So what I'm thinking is, what if we turn the opacity down, this up, let's go to airbrush, and then all of this down here to create a little bit more visual and to show that this isn't as far in the background as the city. We like have this be like totally lit up, but that city stays shaded. So just like a little bit of this. And we can even do some right there too. There we go. Chat, I think that works. I like that. I like that. You know, we can even turn it down. Oh. No, you know, I kind of like it like that. That's tough. What if we Gaussian blur? Nope, I don't like that. I like it hard like that. I like the hard shadow on there. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, no, I rock with that. Okay, cool, cool. Let's actually then take this and let's make sure we get that. Cool, cool. And then let's get some shadow on these people down here. And just kind of give them a little bit of a extra layer. So we'll do a little bit of this. And then we'll just throw some shadow in there like that. A little bit of shadow under these cars slash spaceships, whatever they may be. A little extra detail there. A little bit under these guys. And then we can just kind of throw some willy-nilly all over. Just kind of have some fun with it. Give some extra illusion of what's going on. Oh, yeah. Let's go back to the normal brush that we had. Syrup. Perfect. And then make sure that that is high. Awesome. Cool. What else do we want? Let's get that shadowed, shaded. Perfect. Beautiful. Awesome. And let's see what that's looking like. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that. Okay. The part that I'm not liking, the background sky, it's not doing it for me. Is it too dark maybe? Maybe that works. Maybe I just need a little bit lighter. I feel like that's working. That works a little bit better for me. As for the city, I think this could be really cool. If we throw in some yellow, maybe pink. I feel like this could be cool to throw in behind the buildings or even atop some of the buildings. And now hear me out. I don't know if this is the right color that we're looking for. But going through and just putting this every which way. All different layers, all different building types. Even on some vertical ones too, I think we could get away with it. But to create the vibe of the city being lively, I think we do this. You know, we'll even go down all around the edge. Go up around here. And then hit it with a Gaussian blur. Just like that. And then turn it down a little bit. So it gives the illusion that the city's got stuff popping off in it, but it's not overwhelming. I think I like that. Hold on. And then we can do this. And we can even go in and we can throw some shadow in certain spots that we want to kind of separate from the front. So we can do a little bit of this. You know, let's actually throw it in front of. Like that. There we go. And so then we can throw a little bit just all over. Same kind of spots, but just kind of roll with it. See where it takes us. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit under there, a little bit under here, a little bit under there. Now, how's this looking? Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. And just do this on all the spaces in between the buildings. I think that gets the vibe I'm looking for. City without being a city, you know what I'm saying? So we'll do a little bit of that, a little bit of that there. Perfect, beautiful. Cut off some of these windows too. Awesome. Perfect. Cool. This is looking good. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's throw a little bit more shadow down here. What else do we want? Do we want crazy big shadow back here? Something like that to kind of connect it down. And then back here, just have this be like all in here. We can have this be crazy shadow going on because that's kind of far away from the lights. We can do a little bit of that. Same thing up here. And actually up here we can do actual like proper shading of a couple of these spots, just to get them even more dark. Just like that. You know, we can even do a little bit right there. I don't like that. There we go. Just a little bit like that. And then back in here, this is the big spot that I wanted to do it. And hold on, while we're here. hold on, while we're here. Airbrush, soft brush. That's not reading. I think we got to do it above it. That's a little too dark. That's a little too dark, but I like that. I think we'll do that. Put a little bit of blush going on in there. Beautiful. Awesome. Hold on. Let's go down here and let's do a little bit more on the shadow. I'm not sure if I'm liking how this is looking. I'm not sure. Oh, hold on. Oh! Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because it's so far up. Having a hard shadow doesn't make sense. So having a little bit more of a Gaussian blur could help things. There we go. Yeah. I like that. Awesome. And then we'll go back to inking. Make sure these guys are all taken care of. Get a little bit more in here, a little bit more in there. Perfect. Yeah. And then on top of this, let's go below the inking. And let's just throw down a couple of white highlights in spots that I think would really have that. So like definitely on top of that. There we go. A little bit right there. Awesome sauce. We can even throw some right here, because this would be like the crazy explosion part that's like battle damaged and like just blowing up. So we will have some crazy highlights going on in here. And those will kind of fade out as the thing is blown apart. Perfect. And now, what if we, just an idea. Hold on, I gotta try this. I'm curious. What if we did, and we throw on, what is it, motion blur? I don't know. That feels cheap. I'm not a fan of that. Maybe we could throw on, because it's good, but it just feels like it's kind of sitting there. I want to see if we can give a little bit more motion to it. So what I'm going to try and do is go under it, maybe make a layer down here, and then just kind of like add some lines of motion going on. Maybe even throw a couple above everything. Turn down the opacity a little bit. There we go. Yeah! I like that. Oh, I like that. And just throw like a couple of these bad boys on there so it feels like it is like flying in there. And then we can even turn that down a little bit. Yeah! And then we can throw some crazy last ones on there. There we go. Okay. That looks good, but it's a little much. So let's turn that down. Maybe we don't need the bottom one. Maybe that's all we need. Would Gauzy... Oh! Motion blur to this. Maybe that's all we need. Actually, let's throw a couple. Everywhere that the air would be bouncing off, I think we would have a couple. And we'll throw a little bit of, not Gaussian, perspective blur? Could that be something? Directional? What does this do? This is my first time using this. Okay, that warps it. What if we do this? You know what? I like that. I think that works. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing there, but you know, we'll learn from this one and we will continue on. I think we're good. Yeah. And then, hold on, let's check with the sky. Do we like it darker now that we've added some more light? You know what? I kind of like it darker. I kind of like it. Nice. All right. You know what? Let's sign it. And then I think we are good to call it a day. Rocking and rolling. Head up here. And let's make sure we get this. All right, here we go. First try. Boom. Awesome. You know what? I am very, very happy with that. I think we hit the nail on the head. That's the expression, right? Yeah. We hit the nail on the head with this one. Bang! That's fire. What was it? Driver, and bar. Bar and driver. Hitting the bar. Maybe the driver hit the bar before taking a drive. Who knows? No. But you know what? I think that works. I think that fits. It gave inspiration, and that's what it's supposed to do. That is absolutely rocking. All right, perfect. I think we are chilling. Let's rock and roll to the outro. Shabba shabang. All right, here we are at the outro, rocking and rolling. We got the speed painting to the side, showing through it and explaining. Well, it doesn't explain anything, but it shows how it is rocking and rolling. Anyway, I feel like this was a solid drawing. I'm very happy with how this turned out. The creative muscles were pushed. They were pushed on this one. The scribble, I did not know what we were gonna do for this. So that was a interesting challenge. But I always feel like we don't know what we're gonna do. You just gotta put one foot in front of the other, keep going, keep rocking, keep rolling. But eventually we got there. So yeah, this turned out super cool. I'm super excited. It's always fun to see the replay and like see everything that went through it. I'm surprised about how much detail I got through there with the time given. But yeah, super cool. I'm happy with the lighting. I'm still trying to figure out my style of like shading and how I want to get that highlight in there. But I feel like this is one of the ones. This was a nice step forward with that. So yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. We got a video down below and the subscribe. You know, if you enjoyed what you saw, make sure to drop a like, drop a subscription, and I will see you guys in the next one, hopefully. So take care, be safe, don't do anything stupid, and as always, guys. Stay creative. Adios.